Hey everyone, Chris here. Just do a video today to talk about the importance of letting go of your need to be right, and whether this is in an argument or your general purpose or passion in life, needing to be the one who has the upper ground, that you're right and other people are wrong. And it's so key to let go of this and to drop this. Now, this is part of the ego, and understanding that, I'm pretty sure a lot of you will understand up until now, trying to get your point across has been more, you feel more negative than positive. You may feel like you got one up on the person, but long term it'll bother you a bit, it'll get you a bit angry, it'll get you maybe a bit feisty. So you want to let go of this and understand where this is coming from. Is your need to be right is to prove to yourself that you are obviously perfect. Goes back to conditioning, that you're above someone else, you prove someone else wrong in a way, that you're right, and you're not even open to the idea of being wrong as well. So to give you a bit more of an example on my own life, so in school, probably from high school onwards, so when I was about 12, 13, it became massively about computer games. Computer games was the one where it was like, I bought this console. For example, I was always someone who would go against the majority. I felt, in a way, I always remember that people would, for example, it was the PlayStation, so a lot of people would buy a PlayStation, and then just because everyone else would, and I even remember it, people would make decisions based on that. Where I was just thinking, no, I like the N64, I want to get that. Then moved on to like the Dreamcast, and it was always like a console that no one else really had, and maybe you get a bit of stick for it because everyone else would be like, no, this is better, this game's better, and then I'd be heavily invested in my ego of proving people wrong, of saying this needs to be right. Namaste. Namaste. So yeah, I have to be right. And then over time, what would really happen was someone else would maybe then would turn around and follow my opinion. So the fact of standing for something meant well, but I never really did it with I'm right, you're wrong. Remember as well that you just can't change people, you can't change their opinion. Then from that, it evolved more into music, and so I guess you could say these sort of passions, they can die because maybe computer games, consoles, they evolve, and then maybe you just lose your passion for them. So maybe sort of ones like, say, N64 or the Dreamcast, then moved on to the Xbox, I remember, and then again it was like I felt that I was the one, I was like, no, this is the best, this is right. Then it moved on to music, and it was very much like your whole identity, your passion, your life was around a particular band, a music band, particularly rock band or whatever was popular at the time, and it was like you had to prove that your music was better, your band was better. Understanding that people, music is a lot of relating to emotions. So if you have a lot of suppressed anger or like to express anger, you might like angry music. But then if people are more chilled out, they might like, softer music, right? More popular music. Maybe what was on the charts. Again, it was always to do with conditioning in a way. And sometimes what I noticed was people jumped on the bandwagon of, everyone else is liking this, so I like it. Then it moved on to, for me, once the music started to go, it moved on to football. And I remember this. And again, this can be to do with evolution of music. For example, maybe I just didn't like any music anymore. And then I remember, particularly at my job, when I went traveling, more so at my job, everyone had, egos massively invested, very passionate about their football teams. And you were getting debated arguments, you take things personally, and particularly these passions as well are out of your control. You can't control whether a team wins or loses, and you can't really debate if a team's better because it's to do with conditioning. You can't prove that another team's better than another one, right? You look for different qualities, and you were born into a certain family, you were born into a certain area. You can't prove. It's just like, say, with countries as well. If you're passionate about your country, you can't prove that. So what happened then was, well, I found personal development, and particularly with personal development, I've become a lot less passionate about football because I then obviously developed more courage. And what state of courage is that you take things into your own hands. And once you take things into your own hands, you realize that you're passionate about you're passionate about life. So this then became my passion, and again it was proving people wrong. Like, I'm right, you're wrong. Everyone should work on themselves, which wasn't the case. Particular area was more the dating side of things, like the pickup artist side. And most people might think that was wrong, but if I was saying, well, it's helping me to develop more as a man and personal development wise and improving my dating life, then I can't be wrong, right? It's for a good thing. And then finally with business, and this become the thing of maybe with competition or other personal help people out there, that I'm right, they're wrong, and even if I do feel deep down that I'm more authentic and based on integrity and all these other, it doesn't matter, because again, there was negative energy. You maybe begin to hate other people or dislike other people or prove that you're right. And what I noticed is, as I began to drop this, and pretty much dropped it altogether now, is you get more of a following, you get more people interested and willing to listen to you because there's less negativity in you. So that was my story, and if you can relate to that, maybe even me getting across this opinion now is my own ego, my own way of wanting to be right, but who knows, it's with a lot less, I feel good about delivering it and sharing it, and if people disagree, then that's fine. And well, based on everything I've told you, you can't, if you're trying to be right in an argument, remember it's all to do with you not feeling like deeper down you're enough and you have to get one up on someone. And this can be the negative side of being passionate about something, is you need to get that across. So I thought I'd leave this with you. I've been walking up over 1,000 meters today, and just constantly going up, so that's probably why I'm sounding a bit breathing heavy. But understand that, your conditioning of needing to be perfect, needing to be right, drop that, and what you'll notice is you actually feel a lot better. You feel a lot more free. So if you can map out as well something similar to what I've done, like in terms of a timeline, how over the years you've needed to be right, and maybe you need to be right with your parents and other friends. You feel like you need to, but you don't. You need to respect everyone. You can't change people, you can't change their opinions. You have to stick to what you believe is right, follow your heart. Like in all of those examples, like whether it was computer games or music or maybe supporting a football team, over the time I did notice that other people would follow me, and maybe I introduced them to a certain band, or told people when I went travelling about a football team, and introduced people to computer games, but it was never the ones who generally went on and followed me and followed my idea. There was never any force. It was never like, my opinion's right, that's wrong, you should follow me. It was just like, this is what I do, what I believe in, and I can really feel it coming out in myself now, that I'm just generally following what feels right and what feels right in my heart, and through doing that I'm sure I'll get people along the way. And it's more authentic, it's more real, and it feels great. There's no, like I said about having courage, is with no ego attachment to it, is it feels generally good. Cool. Well, I'm running out of breath now, so I'll end it there. I'll speak to you guys very soon. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not subscribed.